N9.3 trillion naira subsidy funds. Senate moves to probe ex-President Buhari's government. This is the same thing I was talking about, corruption. Okay, on this first subsidy matter, it's already a scam. It's been seen as a scam, and the political bigwigs and big technocrats and business people in Nigeria are the beneficiaries or benefactors of this so-called first subsidy. Now, since they removed the first subsidy, Nigeria has never been the same again. People are suffering right now. The economy is so bad, hunger everywhere. People are not able to survive again, and they say I've removed first subsidy. Okay, the whole whopping 9.3 trillion naira has been spent, and now the Senate wants to probe Buhari's government. Who is Senate to probe Buhari's government? Again, one, the Ahmed Lawan, that was a Senate president under Buhari's government, is there as a senator. Now he won't probe Buhari government, or the Senate president, current Senate president, Govt Akpabio, that was then chairman of NDDC, and when there was a probe on NDDC, and he wanted to open his mouth to confess on the Senate committee that was set up to probe the NDDC. When he opened his mouth to confess, the same people at the panel of inquiry asked him to off his mic. Okay, Honorable, off your mic. Honorable, off your mic. Because he wanted to indict all of them, that he told them that even some of you that are seated there on that table are part of this NDDC corruption. So why are you now calling me here to come and investigate me? And there, one adult honorable man was pretending to faint, to die before the panel there, and that was how they ended the whole matter. Okay, so how can this same Senate that is harboring people with a lot of corruption case fight, and many of them were still present in Buhari's government, to come now and probe Buhari's government? What a shambolic system. Quite unfortunate. A pot calling the kettle black. Dog won't chop dog. It's not possible. Even the dog won't smoke it, they go teach and sense. I go clear. You understand? So that is the problem. How can this Senate have the right? Senate president has EFCC case that APC is holding against him now, and they're keeping it in the cooler. How can this same Senate fight corruption? It's not possible. You want to prove why they just want to set up a committee now and then vote money into that committee, and it's also a means to steal more money, because they're going to fund that committee to do all they want to do. At the end of the day, you are not going to see result. There's no probing in Nigeria that has ever produced result. Let us just stop this thing called nonsense probing. That is it. Buhari had warned all his ministers that nobody should, disturb him by inviting him to come and testify in any court. That is not going to come. So what are we going to do? How can you probe Buhari's government without probing Buhari himself? Oh, wow. So the Senate yesterday commenced the probe of oil subsidy and under recovery regime operated by the administration of President Muhammadu Buhari. Now, it specifically frowned at the 9.3 trillion naira spent on the subsidy regime by Buhari from January 2021 to June 2023. The Senate is also asking for a living wage for workers as a way of cushioning the effect of subsidy removal, and as well seeks for the establishment of 3 functional refineries for local production and distribution of refined oil, with a view to bringing down the pump price from 540 naira per liter to between 300 to 350 naira per liter. So why didn't they think of these measures before removing the subsidy at all? Why did they think of this when they were only putting support on Dangote refinery and leaving state-owned refineries to suffer? These ones are shambolic and things that will not produce result. The resolutions were sequel to a motion sponsored by Chiwoba Ndubeze. Okay, in the motion, need to investigate the controversial huge expenditure on premium motor spirits under the subsidy under recovery regime by the Nigerian National Petroleum Corporation Limited, NNPCL. Ndubeze said the step taken by President Bola Tinubu on subsidy withdrawal in May was commendable, but the regime needed to be investigated. Can you imagine? So what is commendable about the action to remove subsidy without any measure, okay, without any measure to manage the consequences is action in futility. It's just throwing people into full poverty. That is it. And now you are saying there's need to probe the previous regime, Buhari's regime. How can you do that? All these people talking were part of Buhari's regime. So how will you have a successful probe? Not possible. Don't tell us what you cannot achieve. He specifically submitted that while within 10 years, 2006 to 2015, the federal government through NNPCL claimed 170 billion naira as under recovery. It expended 843.121 billion naira on under recovery between January 2018 and January 2019. So he said very worrisome of the expenses made on subsidy under recovery by NNPCL during the period under review, particularly from January 2021 to June 2023, was 9.3 trillion naira claimed to have been spent. The money, as shown by available records, shows that in 2021, 1.42 trillion was expended. In 2022, 4.3 trillion was also expended. And in the first 6 months of 2023, 3.6 trillion naira, totaling 9.3 trillion naira expended. Wow. And many of the senators who contributed to the debate on the motion frowned at bogus expenses made on the subsidy regime by NNPCL and supported all the prayers sought for in the motion. The Senate accordingly resolved that each standing committees to petroleum downstream, petroleum upstream, and finance should, when constituted, carry out a holistic investigation, and all controversies surrounding subsidy and under recovery regime should also be investigated. It also urged the NNPCL in conjunction with some major international oil companies, IOCs in Nigeria, to form 3 different consortiums and build 3 refineries for stabilization of the oil market and the nation's economy generally. The Senate has also mandated its committee on works, when constituted, to investigate the award of contracts for the rehabilitation of Aba, Osisioma, Port Harcourt, and Omahia Ikotepene roads as well. Okay, it specifically mandated the committee to investigate the level of funds released, utilization, and the level of work done so far. Wow. So this is exactly what the Senate wants to achieve. Okay? This is exactly what the Senate wants to achieve under Tinubu's government, to probe Buhari's expenditure of 9.3 trillion naira on fuel subsidy. And you tell me that this is going to be successful. How? How will it be successful? This is most likely going to be a wild goose chase. It's not going to go anywhere. Let's forget about it. Because the senators that are going to do this probing were fully part of Buhari's regime, were fully aware of all these subsidy matters before now. And so they will just be laughing at the back of their mind. They, after debating and after talking at the Senate sessions, they will go back home and they'll be laughing, say, see them. Make them come now, we wait for them. Exactly what they will say. So again, they cannot fight corruption. They don't have what it takes to fight corruption because they themselves are holistically corrupt, and it's going to be they are heavily corrupt that there's no way they will do a holistic investigation without they themselves being involved. These are some questions, some comments here. Somebody saying good and a welcome development so far. Who told you that it's going to be successful? Let's leave that matter. Somebody say make una continue deceiving ourselves. Exactly. They are just deceiving themselves. Nigerian politicians are playing with his people intelligence. It is so bad. Okay? Buhari misintegrity. Nothing. They are not going to go anywhere. Somebody said that is the reason why we are still suffering from subsidy removal. But some people don't know. What are you talking about? You remove subsidy without putting measures in place to cushion the effect. No refineries, nothing is working, and even the so-called palliative that you say you want to share, you have not shared it, and you have removed it, and people are suffering, and you are saying it's a very good step. How is it a good step? The removal of subsidy without plan is nonsense. That is it. We know that all of us want the subsidy to be removed, but why not put measures in place to manage it before you remove it? Playing draft on your land's belongings. Abi, shame on you guys. Exactly. Shame on them completely. Okay? They are all thieves. They have come here to do us abracadabra, to do us like television when not clear. But God will expose them. How can you fight corruption under Buhari when all of you were part of Buhari's government? It's not the same APC. It's not the same Tinubu. It's not the same Akpabio. It's not the same Ahmad Lawan. Who? All of them are wasted money under Buhari's government, and they want to come here and tell us they want to investigate. Bullshit. So thank you for listening. This is exactly what I was talking about, fighting corruption under this government, under APC. It's just a wild good chase. It's not going to produce any result.